You want to beat him without harming him.
Oh, no. Once we in here, this is a totally different business.
You changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good.
My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Pray.
And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame. Like a big shadow.
He beat them because he refused to lose.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it.
We have to believe that we're divine and that we learn from our experience, because confidence breeds success and success breeds confidence. They go hand in hand.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Sometimes they punch you back in the face. That's plan too. You gotta be careful of that.
The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Big Cats, meow, the Florida Panthers, are going to meet in what I think is going to be an epic battle. However, there is narratives going all over this series that this is going to be short-lived. It's going to be tough hockey. That one's true. And that the Maple Leafs have no chance in this series. While the Florida Panthers are very good, there are a ton of compelling storylines for this conference. I'm going to break down to the best of my ability what I think is going to occur, what has happened in the last round, and how these two teams match up so you can go ahead and get excited for the next round of the playoffs. And let's be honest, if you're a Leafs fan, you're probably going to be a little bit nihilist and think you're in trouble, or you're going to be overly optimistic and think you got this. If you're a Big Cats fan, you think you got this one in the bag. Swagger all day, baby. You won the cup last year. Dynasty inbound. So anything I say right now is likely not going to change the minds of any diehard fans of both fan bases, but you love to be here. You love to see it. You want to see what a neutral observer has to say? Are you going to get some confirmation bias from this video? Or are you going to go down to the comments, hunt, peck, and type your way to saying, I don't agree with you, Coach Ryan D. And that's just fine. I love all the interaction from all you beautiful HGS fans out there. I think this matchup is a lot closer on paper than people think. And don't worry, we're going to break down clips as well too. We're going to get to the realities of hockey very shortly. But in the last 5 games of the playoffs, and one of these teams played 6, one played 5. So to be fair, we're going to compare the last 5 games. We have goals for the Toronto Maple Leafs not getting as many, 13 versus 19 for the Panthers, goals against 14 versus 12, also in favor of the Panthers. But then we go down into what we call the expected goals. This is what should have happened. Well, guess what? The Leafs should have scored 13 goals and the Florida Panthers should have scored 12. That means the Panthers overperformed expectations based on where they were shooting from and advanced analytics, and the Leafs did exactly what they said they were going to do. What does that mean? It means Florida possibly could regress, and the Leafs are doing exactly what they think they should be doing according to computer models and analytics. Will that hold up in the round? Shot attempts, 285 versus 287. The Leafs took way more, but they gave up more with 299, and that's against Ottawa. 269 against the Bolts. Quality of opponent matters here. Shots on goal, 137 got through versus 133, nearly identically tied. As we go down all these stats, home plate shots, where it gets really scary, right around the net, 97 versus 93. Home plate shots on goal that actually got through, 52 versus 52. Same, but different, but still same. And again, quality of opponent matters. A couple of the compelling things here to look at. Zone entries with possession, 156 versus 121. The Leafs like to enter a little bit more with zone control, but they gave up a lot, 172 versus Ottawa. The Lightning did not do that to the Panthers. It was only 140. So Toronto is susceptible to carry zone entry. However, both teams are they're not equally as good. Toronto is better at entering with zone possession. That makes sense with the big 4. But it also makes sense because Florida's a big team that likes to hit you. So dumping the puck in and hitting bodies, it's a really good strategy for old-time hockey. Don't tell the Leafs. But you know what? To win a game, you have to have a puck. And the puck recovery rates for and against for each team, very, very close. I mean, really, it doesn't even matter when you look at these things. You got Sergei Bobrovsky, goals against average, 2.2. Goals against were 11. Saves, he made 113. And that gives him an average of 91.13% save percentage. But where are those goals coming from? They're coming from around the net, down low. That means rebounds and backdoor passes. He is shutting down point shots, and this favors the Toronto Maple Leafs. They do not generate a lot of chances from the point. They get down low with their big skilled offensive players, and they jam it in around the net with pretty plays. The shots that come around from goal as well do not heavily favor Florida in this one. They give up a lot of shots around the net. That's where a majority of the shots against the Tampa Bay Lightning came from. So if the Leafs are able to execute and get in and around the net with their big four, Bobrovsky might crumble a bit here. Conversely, if we take a look at Stolarz has 2.33 goals against, a 91.5% save percentage. Where are those goals coming from? Well, they're coming from the crease again as well too. And that makes sense. Ottawa's a greasy team that's going to get down there. And if you don't think that the Florida Panthers aren't going to be sending booming slap shots from the point and they're big muckers to the net, you're bananas. And a big X factor here for that is going to be this third line you see right here. It's the Marchie line with Lundell and Luosterainen. This line absolutely terrorized the Lightning. This is a huge advantage for a team. It's puck control, it's skill, it's scoring. The second line with Tkachuk and Bennett needs absolutely no introduction. The other two pieces of the rat combination from the team repping the Rats. And then the first line, it's quite a good line when you have Barkov, arguably the best defensive forward in the league, and you partner him with Reinhart and Verhaeghe. Well, it's a pretty lights out combination. Line 4 to me is always a line that's just there to give rest to the other three lines. If I'm Florida, I'm heavily running these three lines. I'm not really looking to play the Sturm line that much. But when we go and look at their defense, that's where things get good. Seth Jones has done a great job stepping in for Aaron Ekblad, who will be out for one game, but then he will be back, and he is a force to be reckoned with right now. Gustav Forsling had a really good setup. Nico Mikkola. Watch your numbers there, Leafs. He likes to hit from behind. And then Dmitry Kulikov and Nate Schmidt, two guys that Paul Maurice is familiar with from the Jets. Starting with line 1 from the Leafs, Matthews, Nyes, Marner. Well, we all know what Nyes is. He's a fan favorite there in Toronto. Big bruising body, excellent first round, never went to sleep. So Florida doesn't want to sleep on him. Matthews, Pappy, when Pappy wakes up, damage done. And Marner, for all the hate he gets in terms of reputation, I still go back to his Four Nations Cup. He has it in him. He can do it. Nylander, Patches, Tavares, much better line in game 6. If they get paired up against that Bennett line, well, that's going to be a tough one, but there's enough skill on that second line to overcome it. The third line, Holmberg, Domi, McMahon. I hate to say it, but they are wildly outclassed by the Lundell and Marchand line. And then the Lorentz, Lawton, and Yarncroc line, well, you know what? I think this is one of the better fourth lines in hockey. I think they're going to eat up a lot more minutes than people know in Florida, and I think Lawton's been an excellent addition for the team. Defense, McCabe and Tanev, the big bruising shutdown guys, the guys that were here to help change the culture of the Leafs. Good shutdown players. McCabe has played the most for the Leafs this year. Morgan Rielly, Brandon Carlo is your second pairing, and then Benoit and Ekman Larson on the back end. I think although these are two really good rosters, I do have to give the edge to Florida. Up and down the lineup, Florida is going to win my heart when it comes to the roster here. This is a narrative for the Leafs where the big four need to turn it around. Everybody knows what's happened in the past. It's easy to go down below in the comments and tell me what's happened in the past. I know, they know, everybody gets it. This is the opportunity, again, for the Toronto Big Four to change it. If the Toronto Big Four can battle through somebody like Florida and make it past this round, it is very likely they're going to the Stanley Cup Finals. Can't get too far ahead of ourselves on this one, but they have to find a way to play with some real pushback here. Florida is going to beat the crap out of them. Florida is going to goon them. Florida is going to hit them from behind. Florida is going to take what some people in Toronto would call cheap shots. I only air quote it because I hate getting into the argument about it. Playoff hockey is what it is. It is all about big booming hits, suspensions, no suspensions. Doesn't matter. Do not look for the refs or the league to save you. You have to play through this. And Toronto has an opportunity to prove that. If they don't, Florida will make them fold and make them fold quick because everybody on the Panthers is going to be looking to hit you and hit you hard. And we all know that Marchand and Bennett, although on the same team, have a lengthy history. The cat is out of the bag. If you never believed it when I said you, here it is right from Marchand's mouth. The quote says, people don't want to say it, but part of the playoffs is trying to hurt every player on the other team. The more guys you take out, the more advantage your team has, speaking for the first time after Game 3 last year. Every time you step on the ice, someone is trying to hurt someone. That's how it goes in the playoffs. It's the benefit of having a physical group. That's why you rarely see teams that are small and skilled go far, because they get hurt. Well, duh. And Florida is going to try to hurt you. It is up to Toronto, though, to create the pushback. It is up to Toronto to also make sure they help set a tone at points. And it's going to be up to the Toronto skill players to protect themselves. No one's coming for you. In my personal opinion, someone's coming to run and take your head off. Do what you have to do to protect yourself, whether that's a stick, an elbow, low. Doesn't matter. The code is long gone in the NHL. Since fighting was gone, the code is gone. You do what you need to do to protect yourself, because they are about to go through you. All right, so power play and penalty kill. Puck is here with Willie Nylander. And as you see him moving around, they go from a 1-3-1 that you see here, but then they end up moving more into a fluid power play. And this is what defines the Leafs at this point on the power play. It's a lot of movement. There's a lot of quick bumper passes. Nylander out, bang, bang. They can change sides and they can change looks very quickly. So you can see they move from a traditional 1-3-1 into an overload within seconds of the game. And that overload gives them the ability to make a ton of plays here. Take a look. Puck goes down to Tavares. Tavares has a lot of options down here. Well, what I like about Johnny T is quick little shot on net, and he ends up sneaking it through. And who's going to be on the backside is Matthew Tkachuk. On that power play, that's a big body that is going to be tough for Florida to deal with. Conversely, here's Florida, one of the most aggressive teams when it comes to killing penalties, and this is going to be tough for Toronto to handle. Their penalty kill is hyper aggressive, looks to force turnovers. What you see there, quick little puck pressure. As the puck carries into the zone, Florida goes ahead and seals it off here on this bottom wall. The other critical piece is that you're going to see guys over here standing up. They don't let you into the zone. So here comes that drop pass now. And as Kucherov is trying to get entry into the zone, and we all know this is one of the best players in the world. Just look how aggressive Florida is on that line. There's zero back end from those forwards. And the gapping from the defenseman is good. And what you see here is as soon as that puck crosses, they are taking away time and space. And then take a look here. The replacement to go find there. That's huge here. So you skate in, boom, you're covering it, and you don't allow a shot. It's a little bit of a zone entry, sure, but really good job making it tough on them. As play continues in the PK, they are hyper aggressive at getting out to points. They're hyper aggressive at cutting off, and they do not wait. The other piece that I like is that they're always on the right side of the puck. You don't see anybody here with no daylight where there is no Panther between the goalie and the net. Take a look at that. Ekblad, boom, stands right in the middle now. Doesn't let anybody through. Nobody gets to the goalie uncontested. And that's going to be a tough challenge for Matthew Tkachuk. He's going to get a lot of sticks on the back from guys like Ekblad and Jones. They're really going to work you. They're going to stay between the goalie and the man. The Leafs power play is all about momentum and movement, but the Panthers penalty kill is all about speed, cutting off angles, and hyper aggressiveness. When I saw the Toronto Maple Leafs go to sleep here, it was just so slow, so methodical. Look how passive the penalty kill is here from the Ottawa Senators. And look at all the room. They're just little pitch and catch plays. I assure you that's not going to work in the Sunshine State. And that aggressiveness translates over to the power play here for Florida. Verhaeghe, Reinhart, great goal here. They are the first on the puck. They are the first on loose pucks. And as soon as you get a bouncing puck like you have right here, everybody's going for it. They're trying to close gaps, and they move it so fast. Look, most players here, when Tkachuk picks up this puck, would have reset and waited for people to get in position. Not Tkachuk. He's going to move it immediately down below because movement is king. Doesn't matter that it wasn't a good pass. It blows up off a stick. It moves out over here. That's fine. This is an opportunity for Tampa to get this puck out of the zone. This is also an opportunity for Matthew Tkachuk to back out of the zone. Nope, not going to do that. Holds the line, trusts Reinhart to create the turnover, and all of a sudden they're still on the puck. Tkachuk steps in, and that allows Verhaeghe to be open in the front because they didn't panic, they didn't leave, and Verhaeghe puts it in. Hyper aggressiveness from the Panthers. Leafs, on the other hand, little bit more passive. Puck is loose. opportunity for two players here to make a run at it. They don't. What do we see? We see player here. We're going to move into the middle and we're going to protect the middle. I don't know if that's what you want to do. If they would have moved up over to here and been a little more aggressive, they would have had an opportunity to close that gap. They don't. That allows Ottawa to set up. So they send one and they leave 3 down low. Here's my problem, and you can see it on the screen. Ottawa now has a 5-on-3. You're trapped because of your passiveness on the kill. They get back into position. Everything's fine. There's nothing to panic about here, but a more skilled team is going to go ahead and exploit this. Once again, loose puck. Toronto is on it, but they only send 1. They could have sent 2. They could have sent 3. Florida would have sent all 3. I'm not saying Florida is right. There's many ways to kill a penalty here, but they're just not as aggressive on the penalty kill. And it'll be very interesting to see how that matches up against Florida. You have a hyper-aggressive power play and a hyper-aggressive penalty kill. Everything about the Panthers is aggressive. Everything about the Leafs is well thought out with speed. The Leafs look for the best shot. The Florida Panthers, they look for any shot. And that, I think, is why you come over here and they're matching. 13 for 12 expected goals versus actual goals on the Leafs. And they're not matching on Florida, but they still have more goals because even though a computer model says that wasn't a good shot, a puck still went in the net. And that's the takeaway for the playoffs. That's what the Leafs, I think, have to learn from this one that Florida, the champions, have learned. You only win it by becoming a champion. This isn't about data or statistics. This is a short-term event. 4 rounds is a long time, but we're talking about a single round, 4 wins. We're talking about 1 game at a time. Throw the stats out the window. They don't matter. You have to play the playoffs with feel. You have to play the playoffs with intensity and aggressiveness. And you have to play a little bit of old-time hockey in the playoffs. You got to get dirty. You got to get gritty because the best laid plan in the playoffs fails. Like Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until you're punched in the mouth. I assure you the Toronto Maple Leafs are about to get punched in the mouth. The question is, are the Toronto Maple Leafs going to fold or are they going to pull their best Rocky Balboa impression?
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
And nothing has ever been truer. The simple fact of this playoffs are they going to lose their plan when they get punched in the mouth? Or are they going to get hit and keep moving forward and find a way to win? We know what the Panthers are going to do. They're going to punch them and punch them hard. We just don't know what the Leafs are going to do. We know what the Leafs used to do. We know what the Leafs did last year. This is a new year. It's always a new team. We don't win on stat sheets and we don't win based on the past because then there would be no point for sports. I know a lot of people would love that. They get into comments. There's media producers. Who's won the trade? Who's got the better stats? What happened last year? F that, man. That's last year. This is this year. That's why we play the game. So in this series, who do I think is going to go? I do think it's going to be Florida. All that being said, I think it's going to be Florida because they play the old time hockey, like I said. I think it's going to be Florida because they're hyper aggressive, even in the skill department. I would love Toronto to surprise me. Nothing would be better for my channel, for hockey in general, for Canadians, for fans, for the overall growth of the game. It's been so long. Just end it, Toronto. Finish it. Get to the finals. Break through. Do something that surprises me. I would love it. I would love nothing more than that to happen. And that's no ill will against the Panthers or the Panther fans, because that is a great hockey team that I also love watching. But I'm here for stories. I'm here for narrative. And there is no bigger story right now than the Toronto Maple Leafs overcoming the big bad big cats, meow, and beating them. I just don't think it's going to happen. However, I will be gracefully okay if I'm wrong and delightfully surprised. I'm looking forward to a great series, Panther and Leafs fans. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. And don't forget, now that we're at the end of this video, I got a new mascot. This is a trash panda. Toronto will be familiar with it. So is Winnipeg. Raccoons are awesome. Somebody once asked, is that a skunk? What is that? What's a trash panda? Pandas are noble. These are all things that have circled in the comments. It's a raccoon. They're common. They're phenomenal. And they're nicknamed trash pandas. I need you to help me name it. I want you to drop below in the comments. You need to like the video and subscribe. Like and subscribe. I can see on the comments if you've liked and subscribed. You get a little logo. Do both. throw a name in down there for me, and I'm going to pick the best 3 to 5 names with the help of my wife, Coach Wifey D, and we're going to put them up in a poll for the Stanley Cup Finals. If you think your team's making the finals, your name might be drawn, and there might be a little surprise for you in it as well, too. So go ahead, help me name this new mascot, HGS family. Looking forward to this round. We'll see you there.